There are two traders living inside you. There's the calm, logical version of you, the one who journals, plans, trades, and knows exactly how to stick to a strategy. And then there's the other one, the impulsive maniac who sizes up out of nowhere, revenge trades after a loss, and blows up weeks of careful work in one afternoon. It's like you're two different people. And here's the scary part. The reckless version of you always seems to show up at the worst possible time. Sound familiar? You're not crazy. Neuroscientists have proven that we really do operate with two competing brains. One is rational and future-focused, and the other is emotional and addicted to instant gratification. Traders call it tilt, but in psychology, it's your prefrontal cortex versus your limbic system, and if you don't learn how to control this split, your emotional brain will keep draining your account. The good news? You can silence that reckless voice for good. In this video, I'll show you the science behind your split personality as a trader, why the emotional version of you takes over after losses and wins. 3 rituals pro traders use to stay calm and logical, even in chaos. If you've ever looked back at a trade and thought, why the hell did I do that? That wasn't even me. This is the video that will finally explain why and how to fix it. I'll never forget the day I realized I was 2 different traders. It started perfectly. I followed my plan, waited for my setup, and nailed a clean breakout trade. I felt calm, professional, exactly how a disciplined trader should feel. But then it happened. My next trade stopped out, and instantly, it was like a switch flipped in my head. My hands got sweaty, my heart raced, and suddenly I was clicking buttons without thinking. I doubled my size, jumped into trades that weren't even close to my setup, and within an hour, I had given back my entire morning profit and then some. When I finally closed the platform, I sat there staring at my P&L thinking, who just traded my account? That didn't even feel like me. Sound familiar? If you've ever felt like you're 2 completely different traders, depending on whether you're calm or emotional, you're not imagining things. Neuroscientists have proven that your brain literally has 2 decision-making systems fighting for control. The prefrontal cortex, aka your logical and disciplined pro-trader brain, and the limbic system, aka your emotional and impulsive gambler brain. When you're calm, your prefrontal cortex runs the show, making rational, long-term decisions. But the second you feel stressed after a loss, a big win, or even just boredom, your limbic system takes over. And the limbic system doesn't care about your trading plan. It only cares about instant gratification. The top 1% of traders know this, which is why they don't just build strategies. They build rituals to keep the logical brain in control and silence the impulsive one. In this video, you'll learn the science of why you become a different person mid-trade, the triggers that flip the switch from logic to emotion. 3 powerful rituals to lock your emotional brain out of your trading decisions. And stick with me until the last ritual, because it's the one that finally stopped me from blowing weeks of work in one reckless session. Quick question before we dive in. When was the last time you completely lost control of your trading? What triggered it? Drop it in the comments. Awareness is the first step to shutting that reckless voice up for good. The 2 brains fighting for your account. If you've ever felt like you're 2 different traders, you're not wrong. Neuroscientists call this dual process theory. Your brain literally has 2 decision-making systems battling for control. System 1, the limbic system, aka the emotional trader. Fast, reactive, and impulsive. It evolved to keep you alive in life or death situations. It loves instant gratification and hates uncertainty. In trading, this is the version of you that panic sells winners, revenge trades after a loss, and doubles down on losers because it has to bounce. System 2, the prefrontal cortex, aka the professional trader. Slow, rational, and patient. This is your long-term planner, the part of your brain that follows your trading rules, respects risk, and thinks in probabilities instead of emotions. Here's the problem. Under stress, System 1 hijacks control. When you take a loss or even score a big win, your body floods with cortisol and adrenaline. These stress chemicals shut down parts of your prefrontal cortex for 90 seconds to several minutes. Translation, you are literally incapable of logical thinking in that state. That's why you look back at impulsive trades and think, what was I doing? That wasn't even me. It was your survival brain taking the wheel. Ritual number 1, the pattern interrupt. The fastest way to stop an emotional hijack is to physically interrupt the pattern. Every time you feel the urge to click impulsively, do this. 1, push your chair back. 2, stand up and take one deep breath. 3, say out loud, this is the emotional brain talking. It may feel ridiculous, but naming the behavior activates your prefrontal cortex again. You're forcing your logical brain to step back into control. One trader I coached swears by this ritual. He said, the second I call it out, I feel like I'm waking up from a trance. Half the trades I almost took look insane after I calmed down. Here's the mindset shift. You can't stop your emotional brain from reacting, but you can stop it from touching your account. Every time you interrupt the pattern, you're training your professional trader brain to win the fight. The trigger spiral, how small losses wake the reckless trader. Ever wonder why one tiny loss can send you into a full-blown trading meltdown? It's because your emotional brain doesn't respond to logic. It responds to triggers. And once triggered, it hijacks everything. Here's how it works. Your limbic system, the emotional trader, treats every loss as a threat to survival. When you take even a small stop out, your brain floods with cortisol and adrenaline, the same chemicals that fire during danger. Your emotional brain doesn't care that it's just $50. It reacts like you've been attacked. That's why you feel your heart racing, your palms sweating, and why you suddenly feel an urgent need to do something, anything, to fix it. But it's not just losses that trigger you. Wins and boredom can flip the switch too. After a loss, fear and frustration push you to revenge trade. After a win, dopamine and overconfidence trick you into thinking you're invincible. During boredom, your brain craves stimulation and convinces you to trade just for the rush. Once triggered, you stop seeing the market clearly. Your emotional brain takes over, and every trade you take after that isn't strategic. It's survival mode. Ritual number 2, the trigger log. You can't avoid emotional triggers completely, but you can predict and diffuse them. Start a simple trigger log. Every time you feel the urge to take an impulsive trade, write down what just happened. Loss, win, boredom. What am I feeling? Anger, excitement, frustration. What do I want to do right now? Size up, move stops, take random trades. Review this log weekly. One trader I worked with discovered that 80% of his bad trades happened after he traded past lunchtime when he was tired and hungry. He cut his session shorter and his overtrading dropped by half. Here's the mindset shift. You can't manage what you don't track. The more you understand your personal triggers, the easier it becomes to stop the reckless trader before he even wakes up. The lockdown ritual. How pros keep the emotional trader out. Here's the hard truth. You can't stop your emotional brain from reacting, but you can stop it from touching your account. The top 1% of traders know they can't trust themselves when they're triggered, so they build strict lockdown systems to protect themselves from. Why is this necessary? Because once your limbic system takes over, your brain will justify anything to keep trading. You'll tell yourself, just one more trade. I'll get it back, or this setup looks fine. Even when deep down you know you're gambling. You can't argue with your emotional brain in that state. You have to physically stop it. Ritual number 3, the hard stop lockdown. Here's how pro traders lock the reckless version of themselves out. 1. Max daily loss rule. Before trading, set a hard stop, a maximum amount you're allowed to lose in a day. For example, 2% of your account. If you hit it, you stop trading. No exceptions. 2. Cooling off timer. After any big win or loss, set a 15-minute timer. You're not allowed to open a new position until the timer ends. This gives your prefrontal cortex time to take back control from your emotional brain. 3. Platform lock. Some traders take this to the extreme. One of my students literally changes his trading platform password after hitting his daily loss limit. He can't log back in until the next day, and he credits this rule with saving his account more than once. One trader I coached called this the seatbelt rule. He said, "I don't love wearing a seatbelt, but I wear it because I know crashes happen. Locking myself out after hitting my loss limit feels the same way. It's annoying, but it saved me from multiple blowups." Here's the mindset shift. Discipline isn't about trusting yourself. It's about protecting yourself from the version of you that can't be trusted. Every time you use a lockdown rule, you're proving you're a professional, not a gambler. Climax. Take a moment and think about the trades you regret the most. Were they careful, planned decisions? Or were they the ones where you felt out of control, clicking impulsively, chasing losses, or doubling down when you knew you shouldn't? Here's the brutal truth. The trades that destroy your account aren't taken by the real, logical you. They're taken by your emotional twin. And until you learn to silence that version of yourself, it will keep blowing up your hard work. The market doesn't care about your intentions. It only cares about who's making the decisions. Your prefrontal cortex or your limbic system. The calm, logical trader wins slowly and consistently. The emotional, reckless trader burns through months of gains in a single session. Which one is trading your account right now? Here's the reality. You will never fully erase your emotional brain. It's part of you, and it will always react to fear, greed, and boredom. But you don't have to let it trade. You can build rituals, rules, and systems that lock it out until your logical brain is back in control. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable at first. The first time you force yourself to follow your max daily loss rule, you'll hate it. The first time you physically push away from your desk instead of revenge trading, you'll feel like you're quitting. But over time, something shifts. Discipline stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like power. Picture yourself 6 months from now. You take trades with calm precision. Losses don't trigger panic. Wins don't trigger euphoria. You trade your plan, follow your rules, and go to bed knowing your account is safe. That version of you isn't some fantasy. It's the same you, just with the reckless trader permanently locked out. Because at the end of the day, every trade you take feeds one of your two traders, the pro or the gambler. One builds consistency. The other builds regret. Which one are you going to feed tomorrow? Let's wrap this up, because this could be the turning point in your trading career if you take it seriously. You're not failing because you lack strategy. You're failing because you let the wrong trader run your account. The reckless trader isn't you. It's your emotional brain hijacking the wheel. The top 1% don't trust themselves under stress. They build systems to protect themselves from themselves. If you only remember one thing from this video, remember this. Every trade you take trains one of your two traders. Every time you follow your rules, you strengthen the professional trader. Every time you break them, you feed the gambler. So here's what I want you to do right now. 1. Comment below. What's the worst trade you've ever taken when your emotional twin was in control? Writing it down is the first step to exposing that reckless version of you. 2. Like this video if you're ready to commit to 1 week of using the pattern interrupt or lockdown rule. 3. Subscribe if you want more trading psychology breakdowns. Because we don't just talk charts here, we rewire the trader behind the charts. And don't miss the next video, the FOMO cure, the journaling system that stopped me from chasing every move. Because silencing your emotional trader is step 1, stopping yourself from jumping into trades you don't need is step 2. I'll leave you with this. There are two traders inside you. One builds consistency. One destroys it. The market doesn't care which one shows up, but your account does. Which trader are you bringing to the charts tomorrow? As always, thanks for watching, and remember, discipline is your edge.